Hey guys, welcome back to another video of Want to be a Barber. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look on how to do a taper, so stay tuned. So yeah, getting right into it. First thing you want to do, obviously, is cape your client. Always got to make sure you got the cape nice and snug. Second thing you want to start doing is combing through the hair. This is where you check to see if there's any cowlicks in the hair, see if he has any things that shouldn't be there. So we're going to start off with the skeleton FX trimmers, and we're going to be setting in the bald line. Try and be as precise as you can. Remember, how you start is how your end result is going to be. Then I use some foils to be able to take the stubble down, and then I'm going to go right in with my clippers. And you want to do a finger guideline. I don't know if you saw there, I did a finger guideline. And I'm working with the corners of the blade. Always work with the corners, especially on a taper. And I kind of went ahead and blended it. You can kind of tell there. I work in sections, so now I'm going to go on with my one guard. And I'm going up again, one finger section like you saw there. So be very precise on what you're doing, you know, because the taper is very compressed and you don't have as much space as a fade. So now we're gonna go in with the half guard, and I'm going halfway. My lever was only halfway, so I'm going halfway into that finger guideline that I made. And that's very important. You don't want to go up too high, because then there wasn't a point of using your one guard for setting in the guideline. So now we're gonna go over with our 1.5 guard. And I'm just going to be kind of debulking. If you can see here, I'm kind of like scooping out. It's like a scooping out motion. You want to make sure you do that. You don't want to just be digging straight up into the client's parietal ridge. So now I'm kind of detailing. I'm going to be going more into depth once we go into the backside. But here I'm kind of just detailing. Here I just got my lever open and I'm playing with the lever now. So yeah, this is the final result. And moving on to the backside. So I'm setting in my bald line. You want to be precise, like I said. Here, guys, your guys are going to have a better angle. You're going to be able to see better. What I like to do is I kind of like to put a little bend on the line, not make it a straight line. I don't know if you can tell there. And then I'm going to come and use the foils to take out the stubble. You want to make sure you're nice and clean. Be very nice and clean with it. You don't want to leave any little hairs behind. So now I'm just making sure there's no little hairs behind, and we're going to start with my lever open, and we're going to start setting in our first guideline. So this is where the fade starts to take place in the back, and you want to make sure you give yourself enough room in the back. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to do the lever halfway, and we're going to go halfway up that guideline that we did. And you want to make sure you're very detailed here. It's very small. It's a very small space to work on. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to close my lever. And I'm just going to be attacking just that bottom line, you know, getting rid of that last little bit of hair that's still there. So yeah, moving on a little bit. You can see I'm only using the corners of my blade. Many times I see beginners using their full blade, and that's just going to set unnecessary guidelines. So yeah, now we go on with our one guard open. And we're going to go up one finger guideline again. And you want to be very thorough. You see me going over it multiple times, making sure it's all down to that one guard length. Now we put on our 1.5 guard, and we start scooping out. This kind of leaves the shape ready for a little later on. I'm going to do a little bit of shaping later. But now we're going to do our half guard, lever halfway. And we're going to go just halfway up of that guideline that we just made. So yeah, be very thorough when you're doing a taper. There's not much space to work with, and that's probably what many people struggle with. So yeah, now we're going to go ahead and close the lever, and we're just going to be attacking that little bottom line, and we're just going to be softening up the fade a little bit more. And I'm kind of playing with the lever here, if you can tell. I brought it up halfway again, and I'm just going halfway up of that guideline. You always want to make sure you're working in sections. Now I took my guard off, and I'm just kind of detailing here. It's all detail work. That's what's going to set you apart. And that's what people like. People like when you take your time, clean them off, obviously. But people like when you're very detailed, and that's what's going to make them come back. they're gonna like your experience, the experience you gave them. So I'm also detailing with a one guard. Just because we already used a one guard doesn't mean we can't go back over and just detail some areas that are made dark. They may be dark. So yeah, when you see a dark section like that, you always want to go over and pinpoint it. So now we're gonna work on the right side. I'm gonna be fast forwarding this a little bit because it's basically the same thing as the left side, which was the first thing that we got to see in the beginning of the episode. So yeah. Something I want to talk about is that you got to learn how to cut different hair types. If you can tell, my client's hair type is very curly, and it's a different approach. And many people don't understand that. You don't cut straight hair and curly hair the same. You don't cut wavy hair the same. So yeah, we're going to go in with our Stylecraft sabers, and we're going to do his lineup. Now, for those that have done this before and kind of know their way around a little bit better, you know that this is probably it's going to be everybody's favorite part. Let's be honest. That line right there that we're hitting, that's probably everybody's best part. Everybody loves that. So that might just be a me thing. I don't know. But I really enjoy setting in that line behind the ear. That's probably my favorite part of the cut. It just comes out so crispy. And especially when you're using those hitters, those Stylecraft sabers are incredible in my opinion. So now we're going to do the left side. We're going to do his lineup behind the ear. And I'm telling you, if you haven't gotten a pair yet, you need to get a pair of those. Those are really good. And the battery lasts a long time as well. So shout out to Sabers. Shout out to the Sabers out there from Stylecraft. If you can't tell here, I'm kind of working with the corners. When you're going around the ear, you want to be very careful and work with your corners. Because it's a very small section and you don't want to nick your client's ear, obviously. And here, I'm using my sharp trimmers to do a little bit of shaping. You can also do your clippers. That's completely fine. But to save some time, I just started using my sabers. And I'm kind of shaping his hair there. So now moving on to the front lineup. And this is where you definitely have to lock in. And if you can't tell, I started off in the middle. You always want to start off in the middle, work your way to the right and then to the left. But always start in the middle. Because if you go from one side and try and do the other, it's going to come out crooked. So make sure you start in the middle always. And here I'm just going to do a little detail. I saw a little bit of a dark spot on a C cup. And now we're going to do his straight razor. This is probably one of my second favorite parts to do, actually. Shout out to Tune 45. That's the shaving gel that I use. We're going to start off with his left side. The reason why I use this shaving gel is because I like prepping my surface when I'm going to do a straight razor. I don't want to just go in dry, which some people do. That's up to them, so I personally don't. And I'm just going to do some facial hair cleanup. You don't have to ask anybody if they don't have a full beard. Like I just kind of asked, hey, you want me to shape your goatee a little bit? He said yes, so I'm just cleaning up his facial hair. And you want to do that with all your clients. You want to make sure you're treating them right. You got to spoil your clients for them to come back, and they're gonna love the experience that you gave them. At the end of the day, it's not all about just fading. It's about the experience that you're giving your client. And this gets to the part of the episode where I do want to talk a little bit about styling the hair. I see so many new people that don't know how to style hair. Their fades come out incredible, but they don't take any time to even put some mousse or some gel in the person's hair and style it. So that's probably the second part of barbering, I would say. Knowing how to style the hair. And even showing somebody how to style their hair. Because there's many people out there that don't know how. So now here I'm just going to diffuse his hair a little bit with a blow dryer. And for those that don't know, you obviously need a diffuser. You don't want to just be using a regular concentrator. The nozzle tip that goes in the end of the blow dryer. You want to use a diffuser for curly hair. So always clean up at the end, and even during your cuts. Clients love that. And this is the final product. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed the way I made the steps. I really hope this video helped somebody, and that you could take something from it. You could always rewatch it and see if there's any areas where you need work on, and go right through these steps. That's what helped me. So yeah, another happy client, and thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. Peace.